Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know you're expecting Andy, but unfortunately you're stuck with me for the moment. Unfortunately, Andy's been delayed due to work commitments. But we've got the usual motley crew in here. We've got Roger, Michael, Bernard's come out of hibernation just for today, just for us, and we've got Lou. So again, thanks for joining us. Always, as always, if you've got any questions or you've got any, want to make any remarks, please pop them into the chat and we will be monitoring so that we can answer if we can all your any questions that you need to have. And remember, I know you always hear this, but there is no question that is silly or stupid. We will always be here to help at any time. Right, so I think what we'll do is we'll start straight away, and if we can go to Roger and your presentation. What's in the sky tonight, Roger?
Well, clouds apparently. Okay. Just need my presentation presented, please.
Oh, sorry, I do apologise. See, look, I'm new to this. See,
Oh, damn amateurs.
there you go, then, Roger.
Oh, thank you very much. So here we are into the latter part of October already. So here we go. We've got the waxing moon as we had an apparent annular eclipse at the weekend. More on that from Lou later. So at next weekend we will be having our first quarter, if there's a view of it possible. And unfortunately, I have no sun or moon images for the last week because it's been that bad. But there we are.
Dear.
That's another
in
thing.
Sparkford as well.
Sparkford as well. I know it's making up for it this year.
Tropical Sparkford.
I feel your pain. Anyway,
you mocketh. You mocketh.
I mocketh. Never mind. But we've still got Saturn and Jupiter dominating the southern horizon, and if you look a bit further up, you'll see the Andromeda Galaxy almost overhead, Pegasus, Perseus, and down below there we've got Taurus with the Pleiades. So Pleiades are roughly about the same altitude as Jupiter up through the night sky, and therefore Orion will be on its hills later in the night. So that's of interest. If you wish to look out at 11 o'clock, this is what you will get to see. But before the morning, we've got Venus absolutely brilliantly shining away in the morning sky. And if you're interested, we have Comet 103P-Hartley, which is currently between Gemini and Cancer. That's of interest. It's just out of visual range, but a pair of binoculars will show it, and this is at 6 o'clock in the morning, so there is a chance to see this object. And as I scroll through, I have highlighted it. It's roughly in the center, above the center of the screen, and it follows the path down towards Hydra. Here we've got the plan of its path over the next week or two. And I have got an image of it, rather interestingly shaped, that was photographed by one of the craft on its way through the asteroid belt.
Isn't it strange how this shapes that these things come in?
It's like a dog's bone.
Yeah, it's like a dog's bone. I mean, you expect them to be sort of like rounded and sort of like, if anything, teardrop shaped. But yeah, they're anything but.
Like an amalgamation of several there fused together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we have some interesting results from the James Webb of exoplanet WASP 17b. Apparently, there are some silicates that make up the atmosphere, and they're made up from, if I go on to the next slide, of some quartz crystals, which are blocking some of the spectrum, which was a bit of a surprise for the scientists. And the yellow dotted line is what they forecast it would be like, but the quartz crystals in the atmosphere are interfering with it and causing the spectrum to look like what is currently visible. So could be an interesting event here. It's currently they're saying that it's about the 17B is around 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1,500 degrees Celsius. So it's a little bit toasty, but
is this the type of situation where science fiction has not managed to catch up with what's going on? I'm wondering if there's ever a story where we have a planet, a fictional story where there's a planet with quartz crystals in the atom. And if not, I think someone should write about it, because that's just so incredible.
Yeah, because there was another exoplanet which is close to its star, which they reckon that the iron vaporizes and it rises into the atmosphere. But as it actually comes towards the terminator and it cools down, it actually rains molten iron. You wouldn't want to be around that, would you? So
No.
I can't remember which one that particularly was, but that sounds a bit of a hellish place.
So yeah, I mean, 17B is 7 times bigger than Jupiter with a mass of 1/2. So, and it only goes the orbit the year. It orbits every 3.7 days. So it's all going on around planet 17B there. So it'd be quite see what else they can find.
This is the curiosity as we observe other stellar systems that don't look a thing like our solar system. And this goes back again to the idea that these hot Jupiters that orbit very close to their planets, to their stars, are likely a rule rather than an exception. And the reason we don't have one is that our Jupiter migrated in as well early in the development of the solar system, but perhaps Saturn pulled it back. So that was a big surprise, looking out at the universe, to see these massive planets orbiting inside what would be the orbit of Mercury in our solar system.
Yeah, because I've heard of the sort of what they call the grand tour of the planets, where they were moving themselves around, and Jupiter was a lot closer to the sun. And wasn't it also that when it moved back out again, it perturbed a lot of the asteroids, and that's what probably caused the late heavy bombardment, or was that later?
That is certainly one possibility. It both disturbed things, and it probably saved our necks because it threw a lot of stuff out. It also threw Uranus and Neptune out, we think, which is why it makes a little more sense that there should not be enough material that far out from the sun to form these massive gas giants, and yet there they are. And so we think they formed much closer to the sun, and then were kind of shot out.
Yeah, so it was a bit boisterous in his early days with old Jupiter. Okay.
I think we were referring to the Grand Tack, or also potentially the Nice model, which also
I've already called so many things.
Because Ian McIntyre said that Clarkson, May, and Hammond are joining this.
The Grand Tour.
Oh, the Grand Tour.
Very English thing.
Yeah.
Well, that would be Voyager, right? Grand Tour.
Yeah, Grand Tour, Voyagers, the Voyagers.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny because I was on the Deep Sky Network, Deep Space Network the other day, and I noticed that it was one of the American radio telescopes was actually talking to one of the Voyagers. And I thought, I can't remember. It did say how long the delay was between the message being sent and it being received. I can't remember now, but yeah, if you go on the Deep Sky Network, you can see what radio telescopes are talking to what. And of course, it was on Friday, so they were also talking to Psyche. So I think that was Canberra that was talking to Psyche at the time. So yeah, it's very
Nice.
interesting. Very makes you wonder when you especially think how far away those voyages are.
I think the one-way light time's a little over 20 hours.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. I know it was, but it was. I thought, oh, God, and he's still going. He's still going.
Yep.
He's just got to go a couple of years, and he'll be on his was it 50th? Is it 50th anniversary?
Yes.
Yeah.
In
1975, wasn't it?
1927 will be the 50th.
Yeah, 1977.
Oh, 77 was that? I thought it was
Yep,
75.
yep.
Oh, I do apologise. Oh, hang in there anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Rog, we interrupt.
That's all right.
We don't.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We like the interactive
We'll just-
communications between us.
Just chatty Cathy's here today.
Right. Okay. So we have a smaller gallery this week, but never mind. We still got the entries from our
Yeah.
usual contributors.
I think
First one
everyone's
from-
down in Kelling, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably. Well, yeah. So first one is from Lee, down in Cornwall. So we have the Sol Nebula, and information is there, and I shall have 5 hours of worth of data, which he has not done before in one session. So that's done in proud, and this is the result.
Oh,
Ooh,
Very nice.
Nice.
how
that
lovely is
nice.
that? Very
That
good.
is very, very nice.
That's
Mm.
stunning. Such beautiful colors.
Excellent.
Mm.
Wow.
You did good there.
And
Yep.
pinpoint star images for 5 hours of observing. That's pretty impressive.
Of course. Okay, and then we've got another regular contributor is Jerry of the Flying Dragon Nebula.
Oh,
Very rank Bob in Cygnus. I wasn't quite aware of that. I've heard of the fighting dragons,
yeah.
but not the flying dragon. But this is what we've got.
Oh, look at
So you
that.
can you can see the how it got its name from the
Yes, those long
distribution of the
wings.
gas there.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that is lovely.
Very good. I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. First time I've heard of that one, but there we go. Very good. And then there's this one. Oh,
Here he is.
yeah. Well, with winter coming up in Orion, the favorite constellation of
Yeah.
most people, here's M78 for a change.
Oh, that's lovely.
So
Wow.
Got
this
some
was
really deep
So this
dust
was
in
done with
there.
a one. Yeah, this is just done with a one-shot color camera. But now I've got my mono camera, I might be able to focus more with the filters a bit on this to get some better detail out. But I was quite pleased how that turned out. Really.
Yeah, it's lovely how some of those stars have come through that really thick dust.
Mm.
I don't usually like to say nice things about your images, Roger, but this is really stunning.
Oh, good. Good-o.
There's a lot of
Good
that.
answer.
Praise indeed. Praise indeed.
Right. Okay. Now the next one, you're going to have to sort of be glared by the different colors, because the next one is a very technicolor image. It looks like it's come out of the Wizard of Oz, and it's my Heart and Fish Head Nebula.
Heart and fish. Okay.
Yeah, 12 hours, and here it is.
Wow. That is good.
I think I've got pretty much every color under the rainbow there.
It's pretty
You can see,
spectacular, Roger.
you can see the yellow bricks in that one.
Yeah.
Roger,
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Not in Kansas either, no.
this,
That is stunning.
this reminds me of the sort of briny lakes next to volcanoes or somewhat
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
layers
right.
of
Yeah.
microbes, and it's really cool.
That is fantastic, Roger. Nice.
Yeah, that's my interpretation of it anyway. So there we go. And that concludes the gallery and my presentation for what's up in the night sky this week.
Oh, thanks for that, Rog. That was
Well done.
pretty impressive. So Oh, we've lost Lou. Oh, there he is. There he is.
They've all gone speechless after that.
Yeah,
I'm
we
still
were
counting the
stunned.
stars. That's why I'm quiet.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Right, so I'd just like to thank everybody who has bought us a coffee. If you wish to buy us a coffee, they're all welcome. We just need some digestive biscuits to go with them. And of course, this is something that Lou wouldn't be very aware of, but we tend to dunk our biscuits, and it's an art. It's an art. It's not slumming it or anything like that. It's an actual art, so you can just get it right, so that it doesn't drop off into your coffee. So, but yeah, so we just need some digestive. So if anybody would like to buy us a coffee, I've just popped up the QR code. I'll leave it there just for a second. So yes, we're very grateful. We need all the pennies we can get just to keep the site going and to expand. That we've got some ideas, as we've always said, and we'd just like to thank you all again for being so generous, and you really have been generous. So yeah, so that's fantastic on that.
Yeah.
And also I must mention the merchandise. Of course, we've got our hoodies, which come in 2 varieties. We've got the pull over the head type of hoodie, where the actual design is on the front. And then we've got the zip up hoodies where the design's actually on the back. But they are £35, included postage and packing. If you can just add £10 for any international postages. And also, don't forget the T-shirts. They come in multicolors, multiple colors. They're £19 each with £10 with £10 postage. Roger's showing his off nicely. It's have you got that on over a shirt? But yeah, so
It's
yeah,
cold.
thank you everyone who's bought merchandise, and I'll put those up again towards the end, or Andy can, because Andy is due to join us, hopefully around about 8:30. So he will then take over and get rid of this amateur. So okay, thanks for that. Right, if I'd I'd like to pop over to Lou, who this weekend was out and about, our roving reporter, and he was in Albuquerque. Now, if I can just, I'll just show you your presentation. Oop. Just make it.
Yeah.
Okay, then, Lou. Thank you.
Well, not quite as important to those of you in Europe, but it was a big deal here in the United States. There was an annular solar eclipse on October 14th. And this is part of a pair of eclipses that we've really been lucky the last few years. In 2017, there was a total solar eclipse that crossed the United States. All of North America and Central America saw something. We just had one October 14th, an annular eclipse. And then next year, on April 8th, there's another total solar eclipse that travels from just north of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, through Texas, Southern Illinois, New England, and Nova Scotia. So we're really feasting in solar eclipses. This is unusual. We're all gearing up for the big one, the big total. But there was this annular eclipse on October 14th. And it turned out that Albuquerque, New Mexico was the place to be, or one of the places to be, right smack dab in the center of that roughly 100-mile wide path of annularity, we'll say. And for those of you, I'm sure we have people on here who could school me on the celestial dynamics of eclipses. But for those of you who don't know, an annular eclipse is when the moon, which is in an elliptical orbit around the Earth with a 5-degree inclination, elliptical orbit, as all things are in space, when it's far enough away from the Earth that near its apogee, when we have an eclipse, then it doesn't appear as big as the sun. And so when it moves in front of the sun for an eclipse at those times, we see an annular eclipse where a little bit of the sun peeps out around the edges of the moon. And this time I think it was about 95% coverage in Albuquerque, which I still can't spell. My wife went out with me. We took a tour of Albuquerque, a walking tour. And I said, well, what is the derivation of that? Well, it's just some guy's name back in the 1500s or something. So anyhow, so I went out to Albuquerque, as many groups did. National Science Foundation did. You had some Astronomical League people, NASA, NOAA were there. And we all gathered at, oops, I'm clicking the wrong presentation here. Let's see, here we go. We all gathered at the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. Who knew? Albuquerque is host to an annual hot air balloon festival. And it just so happened that that same weekend was the 51st annual hot air balloon festival. So not only were there people there for the eclipse, but many, many more people for hot air balloons. And there must have been over 150 balloons in the air at one time, all kind of interesting shapes and sizes. And there's a Darth Vader balloon and all kinds of things, but there were people there with their balloons. So these are just some pictures from that part of the event. They had a nighttime activity you can see in the bottom middle there with a few balloons lit. And they would ask balloons not to fly, but just to kind of sit on the ground. And on the count of 3, have all of them light their burners at once. And so that was very colorful and bright. And then on the right side here, you see the actual balloon museum, which talks about the history of ballooning and how it's been used, and even people skydiving from the stratosphere in their hot air balloon gondolas. So it was kind of interesting. We tried to get, my wife and I tried to get a ride on a hot air balloon, but because everything's in demand, all the prices went up like crazy in Albuquerque. Hotel room rates doubled or tripled. And the best price we could find for a hot air balloon was $900 per person for a 1-hour ride. So we said, no, we'll do it later. I'll show you some other things. Albuquerque is also home to the Petroglyph Museum and surrounding areas. And a number of people from Survey set up an astronomy education outreach group set up at the Petroglyph Museum. And so we got to walk around the grounds a little bit and see these 600 to 800 year old art petroglyphs that were carved in the rocks around Albuquerque.
Lou, have you changed your slide for that?
Oh gosh, you know what? I've got the other slide. I've got my slides on my computer, and I've been changing those.
Right, I'll just.
Right. I need to get with the program.
That's what you're after, yeah.
When Andy's gone, all hell breaks loose. Nothing. Thank you. So these are some of the petroglyphs that we saw, just kind of walking along this 1.5 mile trail that loops around, and it's a lot of big rocks. It looks like a volcano exploded. And all of these rocks are kind of piled on one another going up a mountain. And every now and then you see these drawings. And they were not all made by Native Americans. Some of them were made by the Spaniards that actually settled Albuquerque, apparently, even before the settlements on the East Coast, even before the colonies. So that was kind of interesting. So these are pretty old. Well, it was Eclipse Day, and the first contact with the moon, with the sun's edge, was at 9:18 a.m. So we got up early. We were out of the hotel by 6:30 a.m. with a 20-minute drive ahead of us, and this freeway was backed up for 4 or 5 miles, no movement. So I pulled out of that parking lot and cheated my way up the line and somehow managed to swerve in front of someone who I'm sure is still angry at me. And then once we got off the highway, the police wouldn't let us turn. They were not allowing anyone in. There were too many people because of the balloon festival. So I was about to panic, but I saw just a place to turn off. So we turned off, and it turned out it was a Sandia Casino resort. Whatever. We've got about 45 minutes, I think, at that point until first contact. So we pulled the car up into the parking lot, set up all our equipment. And to our surprise, to our very nice surprise, there were about 20 or 25 other people there who were looking at the eclipse. They were all kind of at different places around the parking lot and the resort. And we pulled them all together, and we all shared the eclipse experience. It was just wonderful. So we all had glasses. Well, for a few who didn't, we had other glasses. And we set up, I think I had the only telescope. Some people had some eclipse binoculars. Everyone had eclipse glasses from various places. And we just set up there and observed. This middle picture here was taken the day or two before the eclipse. Here I am hanging out with some people from NOAA, the U.S. National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration, who were there also hawking the eclipse, just like everyone else. So we had a grand time, and we made some friends out of it. And I found this out in the 2017 eclipse, and I keep saying in the outreach work that I do that eclipses bring people together. They bring people who don't know each other together. They bring families together. They're just wonderful events, especially given the state of affairs of our world today. It's nice to have gather with people in friendship, all interested in the same exciting celestial event. As I made my way around the Balloon Museum and the festival grounds and the Petroglyph Museum and so on, there are lots of people there from various groups showing the eclipse in various ways. Down here on the lower left, we have I forget what they're called, but they're very simple solar projection display units, and they're very easy to point, and so you can get an image of the sun on this nice piece of paper, see sunspots and so on. So the eclipse showed very nicely through that. Up here is my telescope setup. I had a 70 millimeter stellar view with a Canon 70D camera on the back. And you'll notice up here, I've got a couple of just anything I could find as weights to balance the telescope. These are some Allen wrenches and a dovetail bar and here just to balance this heavy camera on the back end, but it worked. This is a Lunt solar telescopes was there showing the sun. And this is a one of Lunt's double stack H alpha telescopes, which produced marvelous images. And the guy who was, it wasn't Andy Lunt, but one of his coworkers was showing it. And he took a cell phone and put it over the eyepiece with a special, a special device that will center it on the eyepiece so that lots of people could see the image at once, rather than having each person have to look into the eyepiece and also learn how to look through an eyepiece. So I thought that was pretty clever. And then this over here, this was with Brian Day from Ames Research Center, was out at the Petroglyph Museum on the right-hand side here. And they had some really cool mounts, solar mounts. These are mounts that hold a fair amount of weight. And you set them up. They have GPS. You level them. They have GPS in them, and you push a button, and boom, they find the sun and track it at solar rate all day long, and it's amazing. So fortunately, my wife was there, so I could say that's what I want for Christmas. So we'll see if that happens, or I might get a tie. I don't know. We'll see. Well, here's what you've been waiting for, maybe. These are the views from my 70 millimeter stellar view with just using a white light solar filter from first contact through annularity, and then the end of the eclipse. The annularity, in other words, where the moon was somewhere inside the sun's disk, was about 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 50 some seconds, I think. And so quite a long time to observe and take a lot of different images. I tried to see if we could see a little Bailey's beads through my images as the moon's edge just touched the edge of the sun. But I didn't get any of that. But it seemed pretty successful. And I took all of these images and others, and I put them into PowerPoint. And there is a facility in PowerPoint where you can turn your slides into a video. And so I was able to turn them into an MP4 video, which just showed the progression of the eclipse. So we had a great time, met some new friends, and this was all a practice, in a sense, for the 2024 eclipse. I don't know if the UK will see any of that.
No, I don't think we will.
No? Okay. So in April 8th, 2024 is an eclipse that will be visible in North America, Central America, and South America, with a path of totality running, again, from Mexico up through New England and Nova Scotia. So don't miss that if you can. And I'm sure we'll be back in April for another eclipse update.
Yeah, you were talking about the eclipse next year. This is a map. This is a NASA map. The eclipse going from top left to down to the bottom. That is the annular eclipse that you've just witnessed at Lou. And then the darker strip going from the center left up to the right-hand corner. And that is next year's total eclipse. And as you see, there's a little place just down there where they're going to get a double whammy. They're going to get it. They saw it this time, and they're going to see it again next time.
That is one double whammy. But if this map also had the 2017 eclipse path, you would see it coming down from Oregon down to South Carolina, and it would cross right through southern Indiana, Carbondale, Indiana. And that's where Southern Illinois University, sorry, not Indiana, Illinois. That's where Southern Illinois University is, and that's where I will be, as well as Adler Planetarium and NASA Edge, to broadcast the 2024 eclipse next year. And that's, by the way, a great place to sell T-shirts, just in case you're asking.
Okay,
I'm sure there'll be a lot of that.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Can I just say here, I need to have a word with Mr. Universe, because I don't think it's fair that the US is getting like so many eclipses and we in Europe have nothing.
That's how I felt in the 1999 eclipse. It just wasn't fair because Europe got the whole thing.
That's not strictly true, because Andy's got two coming up in quite quick session coming up soon.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
I know Andy's joined us now. So,
hello. Good evening, viewers.
Talk of the devil.
Yes, the devil incarnate. That is I. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. And I'm a bit late. I've had some work dumped on me at last moment, which has delayed my return. But I'm here. Yes, we have two total eclipses in Spain coming up. One in August 2026 and another in August 2027. Having said that, the one in August 2027 will only be visible from right on the very extreme southern tip of Spain, sort of Gibraltar and Cadiz and that sort of area. The one in 2026, however, I can't remember what day of August it is. I think it's about the 14th. That goes straight through the line of totality, goes straight through the city of Valencia, which is only 3 hours from me. So I will definitely. And I had some good news this week. I've been, musing over whether to get in touch with the hotels now to reserve a room, and not quite sure of the reaction I would get trying to book a room 3 years in the future. However, my wife has a friend she's made recently who actually lives in the centre of Valencia, and she says we can use her house. So I have said to my wife, you had better stay friends with her for the next 3 years, or else. So that's good news. So we have somewhere to stay, which would be brilliant.
Fantastic.
Just one more thing.
Well,
If you all are wondering why some countries have all the luck and some countries have nil, that's a word you guys use. You say nil, right?
Yes.
Then you can find out by researching the Saros cycle, which tells you how what the pattern is of solar eclipses over time. And you'll find out that it's a kind of a multiplication of the anomalistic and draconic and synodic lunar months, I think, and they all come together to tell you when eclipses are going to occur and where.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Right, we'll have to have a look at that.
Because it's not random, is it? It's definitely not random.
It's not
nothing's random. Nothing's
Yeah.
random.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Nothing's
Anyway,
random.
how's the show going, guys? Have you managed to keep some of our viewers with you? Oh, yes, you have. Good.
Yeah.
It's going great up until a few minutes ago, Andy. And
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's gone downhill since.
Yeah, well, that's an easy solution.
Oh, look.
lost Andy. Come back, Andy. Come back.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yes.
I must admit, I did wonder what with Michael's remark in Messenger. He said, "I noticed Andy's not on, so I'm going to join you." And I thought, is that a slap in the face for Andy? All depends how you read it. But yeah,
I treated
Yeah.
that with the contempt and a smile that it deserved.
that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yes, hi
It
Derek,
was-
hi Ian. Thanks for the greeting.
It was nothing
okay.
personal.
Right. Well, I have some news. When do you want to slot it in?
Oh, you can pop it in now if you wish, Andy.
Yeah,
That'd be
okay.
great.
Some interesting things this week. It's been a bit of a slow news week generally, as far as astronomy goes, but there've been some really interesting things. So let's have a look at the news. So we start off. Believe it or not, I don't know whether you know, but there has been an annual eclipse, which you probably didn't know about.
no idea.
Yeah. All right. Glad to have you back with us, Lou, and very jealous, of course, of your trip. But you got back in one piece, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful image, Andy. Is that real?
It is real. I could not find an attribution for it. I don't know where it was taken or who took it, but it's a beautiful image, isn't it? It's really lovely. Yeah, I think it's real. It looks real. You can never tell these days, of course. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that we have the Americans again have had an eclipse to marvel at. So there we are. Just a recap of the launch of Psyche on the 13th. We're very sorry that we couldn't bring you live coverage of the launch, but it took place on a Friday afternoon and everybody was working, so we were unable to do that. But I thought you might like to see some of the launch highlights because I think you'd agree that as you watched it, Michael. It was a spectacular launch, wasn't it? I mean,
It certainly was. Yeah.
It was absolutely unbelievable. So let's have a look at the some of the highlights of this launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Falcon Heavy and Psyche on a mission to a metal asteroid in deep space to study the building blocks of our planet's inner space.
Power and telemetry nominal. Data is looking really good. Side booster separation confirmed.
Great shot there, the side boosters coming off the rocket.
Maybe burn and start it.
Here it comes. Perfect landings for them both.
Psyche payload separation confirmed.
There it is. The Psyche spacecraft going off into deep space. We have a signal that says, hey, I'm here, I'm out in space.
So there we are. So those are some of the mission highlights. And we have a spacecraft on its way to the metal asteroid Psyche that we've talked about a lot recently, but it is a very important mission. So why not? and it reaches there in 2029. And we stand to learn a lot about the early history of the solar system, about planet formation, and in particular, of course, a lot about that mysterious asteroid that's made largely of metal. Although we don't know exactly which metals yet, but it's definitely metal. It's too dense to be anything else. Okay, moving on, back closer to home. The Liverpool John Moores University is to build the world's largest robotic telescope. This is great news. And just to give you a rundown on this, the Liverpool John Moores University will construct the world's largest robotic telescope, which is called, extremely imaginatively, the New Robotic Telescope, or NRT. It's going to be 4 times more sensitive and 10 times faster than the previous record holder. It's going to enable quick observations of explosive and rapidly fading astronomical events. So these are transient phenomena like supernovae, for example. And it's going to be built by an international consortium led by John Moores University, Liverpool, the University of Oviedo in Spain, and the Institute of Astrophysics of the Canary Islands. It's going to capture the first seconds of evolution after explosions such as supernovae, which is very important, of course, to try and understand what they're all about and how they work. And it's going to operate remotely, and the objects to observe will be chosen by a sophisticated robotic system. So that's great news. They've managed to complete the funding with a £4 million grant from the STFC, the Science Funding Council, and the construction is going to go ahead shortly. So this is great news for Liverpool John Moores University, and there we are. The European Space Agency have released a beautiful. Sorry, go on.
Interrupt you. The robotic telescope, I don't understand, because you mentioned that the targets would be selected by the robotic system, but wouldn't that be by the computer system or the artificial intelligence system?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason why it's the largest robot is not necessarily because of how it's operating, but actually how the targets are being selected by the computer itself.
No, it is the largest instrument that's fully roboticized, if you like.
It's 4 meter mirror, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, a 4 meter mirror. Yeah, and this means that if there is a sudden event like a supernova, it will be able to track really fast to it and observe it.
I thought all modern Earth-based telescopes were already, roboticized or automated in a way that would actually enable these type of trackings. So
No, not all of them by any means, just some of them, and this is the largest. So,
okay.
So there we are.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if you want to observe transient events like supernovae, then you need obviously a degree of automation, because they need to get on that target as quickly as possible. So from what I've been reading, the way that this will work is that if there's a supernova or a gamma ray burst or something like that picked up by, I don't know, one of the satellites, a Swift satellite, for example, or Chandra, then the signal will be relayed automatically to this telescope, and it will automatically slew to that point in the heavens. So it's fully automated, and it will communicate with orbiting satellites, other observatories, and humans not necessary, basically. So
this would be great to work in parallel with the LSST, the Large Scale Synoptic Telescope, which
wouldn't it just
whole sky for changes.
Yeah.
And I hope they do that.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure it will have occurred to them. So there we are. Anyway, moving on to something for you, Lou. I don't know whether you've seen this. Mars, because the European Space Agency have released a wonderful video which is taken from Mars Express data and topological information to visualize the following. And it's an area of Mars that is hauntingly beautiful. Well, I think all areas of Mars are hauntingly beautiful, to be honest. But this is an area of Mars called Noctis Labyrinthus. And as it says, it's a vast system of gullies and canyons. It sits between the Valles Marineris and the Tharsis Bulge. Mm-hmm. And it's the length of Italy, and it features chasms up to 30 kilometers wide and 6 kilometers deep. I mean, just look at this. This is all from
Wow.
real data. It's from, you know, as it said, volcanism caused the surface to stretch up and to cause rift valleys. And of course, we see rift valleys on the Earth all the time. So you know, I think it's an amazing video. I won't play all of it because it goes on for about 5 minutes. But you know, I hope that you get the idea of this amazing landscape. Wouldn't it be great to go exploring that landscape? It would be.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
It's always 30 years away, gentlemen.
yeah,
Yeah,
We're
that's
going to
true.
Mars in 30 years,
yeah. I know. Like nuclear fusion.
right?
So there we are. Anyway, that's a beautiful video from ESA. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out, and it's of it's a Noctis Labyrinthus, which essentially means the labyrinth of night, which I think is a lovely romantic name for it. But it's amazing. Anyway, so that's over on Mars. Closer to home, again, India. And now, as we know, India have been making enormous steps in the space program recently. And it's very much an up-and-coming space power. And now, a company called Dhruva Space are building a huge satellite manufacturing facility in India. And this is a computer rendition of what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this is great news for India. And it's going to be built in Hyderabad and in a little place called Shamshabad. And it's going to facilitate India building their own satellite platform subsystems, orbital deployers, ground station equipment, and other components. It's going to take 5 years in multiple phases. Interestingly, it's going to include an assembly line just for solar panels. And that's going to be 20,000 square feet of manufacturing of solar arrays for satellites. And they're going for the small satellite market and, of course, international players as well. And it's a significant step forward in India's space industry. So that's good news. And then just one more thing. Sort of on the subject of satellites, Qatar Airways has announced a deal with SpaceX to provide Starlink internet on their fleet of planes. And this is going to be, a big deal because it will be the largest Starlink aviation deal. SpaceX has struck deals with other airlines, but this is the biggest one so far. And anybody paying, for whatever ticket will earn you this. Will get complimentary high-speed, low-latency internet, and it's not on every plane, specific aircraft and routes, but they will get up to 350 megabits per second, which is stunningly fast. Yeah, so that is a very fast net connection on the planes, which of course they can use for anything internet, and they're in the pre-launch phase of their rollout. So this is a great news for SpaceX and Qatar Airways. So there we are. And that is this is the news.
Okay.
And
did we mention the sample reveal?
I haven't mentioned it.
No, nor have I. So okay then.
Well, there's a sample reveal. And the sample from, of course, OSIRIS-REx from the asteroid Bennu. The scientists opened the lander that you saw landing a couple of weeks ago, and they were absolutely thrilled to discover that not just is there material in the canister, the return canister, but all smeared around the inside of the capsule as well. So they actually collected a lot more than they thought they were going to. Yeah. This material has already been shown to be very high in both carbon and water. The water is especially interesting, because, as you know, there's an age-old question about how did the Earth get all its water? And one of the ideas is that it came to the Earth in the form of comets and asteroids. And this asteroid, Bennu, seems to be extremely rich in water. But, of course, over the next years, really, they're going to attack that sample with spectroscopic analysis and all sorts of types of scientific analysis to find out exactly what's in that sample. And again, we stand to learn a lot about the early solar system, about the formation of asteroids, the formation of planets. so that they've got lots of work basically, and they haven't even started actually opening
No.
the actual canister yet.
It's fantastic because they have had some samples underneath ultraviolet lights,
Have they?
and you can actually see minerals fluorescing actually in the.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, I haven't
Um,
looked at that.
yeah, there was. I think it was on a separate show that was. But yeah, as you said, Andy, they opened up the container, which isn't actually the sample box itself,
No,
as you
no,
said, and it's full of stuff,
full of stuff.
from fine, very fine grains to some quite gritty bits and all that. So, and you could actually see around the edge where the lid was supposed to be closed, the stones that actually kept it open,
Yeah,
which was causing the problem. So
They-
they just dumped
yeah.
the sample box in the container for a return home.
yeah. They think they've got about 300 grams in total, which is actually quite a lot.
Yeah,
So,
and
so
that'll be shared out around the world, and a lot of it kept for future analysis when new technologies come along.
yeah, they're only analysing 30% of the sample. 70% is they're putting in, I presume, some sort of deep freeze, or nitrogen freeze.
Nitrogen freeze.
Yeah, for future technology, because as we know, was it last year or the year before that they opened a new batch of moon rocks that are
Yeah, moon rocks. Yeah.
yeah, because the technology's moved on so far that they thought they could do a more complete analysis with the new technology of the Apollo samples, and there's still some of the Apollo rock samples that haven't been opened yet. So, we're 60 years on from Apollo nearly. So there's a lot to keep the Royal Scientists busy. But this Bennu sample will be examined for years and years and years, and new things found out about it.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. The only other thing that happened this week is another coolant leak on the International Space Station, especially
Yeah.
on the Russian, is it Nanuka thing
Yeah,
again?
that's right.
Which is apparently it's not life threatening. It's not actually a big issue for, so they're saying, but it has actually delayed. I think it's 2 spacewalks now to do other inspections and to do other maintenance on the outside of the machine. So,
Are you telling
yes.
me there's been another coolant link from the Russians on the ISS? I don't believe it.
No, never happen. Never happen, will it? So,
There's a question from Ian. Ian says about the loose stuff inside the Bennu return capsule. Would the stuff not in the sample box be contaminated, though? Anybody want to tackle that one?
Well, no.
No, it won't be, because as soon as before they opened it, it was all sealed. Before they even, the first thing they did is they contained it within a box, which was just because there was actually nozzles on the outside which they connected nitrogen hoses to straight away. So the first thing they did was actually fill the container, and then it was put inside a box, which
Right.
again was full of nitrogen, and then it was flown to wherever its final destination is.
So
The
it's
JPL,
all pristine, in other words.
yeah, it'll all be pristine, and everything that every time it comes out, because it doesn't they open it up and things like that. It's in a massive box where you have to put your big hands in the gloves and things like that. And like
A bit like you, Dan.
all the time. Yeah, big gloves.
Mm.
But yeah, so it will be kept as pristine as possible. One of the things they did say, because somebody did ask a question at the revealing about magnetism within the samples, and they've said, unfortunately, because the way the sample was stored, and it used an arm to move things around, and it was an electrical arm which produced magnetic. Of course, anything that's got an electricity current running through it has magnetism. They said that's probably all been wrecked, so they won't be looking for magnetic signatures and things like that in the samples. It was just the way of the thing. There was no other way they could do it.
I don't think that measuring the magnetism was one of the priorities, though, was it? They're
No,
far
no,
more
it
interested
wasn't.
in the minerals.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be surrounded by electronics on its way back,
Yeah,
and things like that. So
True.
magnetism, it's no respecter of
Oh, I can't.
boundaries. So it's probably any magnetism inside them have probably been wrecked anyway. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
There was another really cool news this week, which is close to my heart, which is that the JWST did some observations of some of the objects in the scattered disk, some of the dwarf planets quite far away, trans-Neptunian objects such as Sedna and Kor and Gong.
Oh, really? Well, that's great. And
they've just been...
Did I read somewhere that another sizable 10 objects have been discovered in the Kuiper belt? I read that as well.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
I'm sure I read that this week. We know that the Kuiper belt is full of thousands of smaller objects. Apparently, these are fairly sizable new objects, right? Discovered with AI, if I remember rightly, showing just how much AI is encroaching into astronomy.
Yeah, totally. So, cool.
AI found an unknown supernova this week as well that nobody has spotted. So that's great. There we are then. Okay. Lou, sorry I missed your presentation of the Eclipse. I will watch it back, obviously.
Oh, it was stunning. So
I can imagine.
Never be repeated.
I won't insult you by saying, did you have a good time? So that's obvious, I think.
He was playing with balloons. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Do you want an interesting fact of the week?
Sure.
Go on then.
Go on then.
Yeah. While the figures are in my head, and at my age they don't stay there that long these days, but while the figures are in my head, I was having a moan on Facebook, as I frequently do, about a science article, alleged science article, that said that the Earth is heading for a black hole catastrophe because they've remeasured the distance between Sagittarius A and the Earth, and it's come out a bit less. It was 20. They did measure it at 26,700 light years, and the new measurement is 25,800 light years. So it's a tad closer. But this article said Earth catastrophe and all the rest of it, and we're going to plunge into a black hole, and it was just appalling. It was just really, really appalling. And somebody on Facebook was saying, "Oh yes, it will pull us in." So I just gave them my calculation that I did of what is the gravitational force of Sagittarius A star at the distance of the Earth, because as we know, the force of gravity never dies away altogether. It's always a positive number. So I calculated what the force of gravity from the black hole at the center of our galaxy is here, and it came out as 0.908 newtons. That's the force that Sagittarius A star exerts.
Now, were you using Newtonian dynamics or modified Newtonian dynamics?
No, I was using bog standard Newtonian dynamics.
String theory.
Yeah, heresy. Yeah,
you guys will find out. You'll think. I'll have the last word on this one.
Anyway, so it was 0.9 zeros and then an 8 newtons. And then I thought, well, I need a comparison for that. How can I illustrate that? What is that force? And I found out that a mosquito hitting a spider web exerts a force of 0.405 newtons. So this is many, many, many orders of magnitude less than a mosquito hitting a spider web. I just thought I'd throw that in for fact of the week.
Well,
in other words, viewers, we are in no danger from the black hole at the center of our galaxy. So
you spent your week firing mosquitoes at spiders' webs, have you?
They had it coming, mate. They had it coming.
In a catapult, was it? In a catapult or an air rifle?
It was a cat.
They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah. No, they had it coming. They've been plaguing us all summer, especially the tiger mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's the ones you've got to be careful of.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, our local council sent round a leaflet to every house saying, beware of tiger mosquitoes. If you see them, report them. But they didn't actually say why in the leaflet and what's so bad about them. So everybody just ignored it. And but we're getting a lot of tiger mosquitoes.
Well, they carry the Zika virus, don't they?
Yes, they do. And is it dengue fever? One of them.
dengue,
yeah.
fever. Yeah, but
They,
it's
they can carry disease basically, and they've come
Yeah.
up from Africa. So
yeah, you can only recognise them by the red, and, the yellow and black stripes.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and actually, they do have striped legs. That's you can identify them immediately. They have striped legs, but they're black and white stripes. So it would have been more accurate to call them the zebra mosquito, not
Oh yeah,
the tiger
yeah.
mosquito. But
But
anyway,
they're also very, very small. You can only identify them under a microscope.
yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they are a lot smaller than the bog standard mosquito, if
Yeah,
there is such a
they
thing.
are. Anyway,
Anyway.
we digress. We digress.
We digress. All right, are we all done tonight? Is everybody done? with it?
Well, I've got my presentation, and
Oh, go on. Please, sorry.
Bernard's got a
Let me stop you.
presentation. He's about a book. So,
Go on then.
well,
Guys,
let
I have
Bernard
a
go.
hard
What
stop
time
at
we on?
4, so I'm gonna take my leave of you
Okay.
today.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you, Lou. Nice seeing you. Thanks for
Nice
your
seeing you.
Thanks,
presentation.
Lou. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Speak
Lou.
soon.
See you, Lou.
Bye.
Thanks, Lou.
Bye.
Right. So, Bernard, would you like to do your presentation?
Oh, but Bernard's got something.
Yeah. So I basically what happened was a few months ago I took my daughter to the Space Museum in London, and that's such a great place. And I was walking.
Which museum?
walking
Sorry.
around.
Which one?
The Science
Oh,
Museum.
Science Museum, right? Yeah.
The Science Museum. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
The Science Museum. Thanks, Sandy, for correcting me on that.
No. I wasn't correcting you. I just didn't hear what you said
No, I made a mistake.
because you were
there.
mumbling in your normal Belgian way. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
Buffoon. He's talking buffoon.
It's so great to be back here.
Oh, good. I just love it. I didn't know you were going to be here tonight, Bernard. I'd have not been here.
Yeah, I found some time, so I decided
Oh,
to
thank you
hop
very
on.
much appreciated.
No worries.
Anyway,
no
your
worries.
daughter loved the Science Museum then.
Yeah, totally. And anyway, we were walking through the big shop area, and there was this book that just caught my eye, and I was like, "Ooh, what an interesting book!" And so I just decided I flicked through it, and I was like, "This looks amazing." So I bought the book, came back home, and I started to look into it in more detail that evening, and I was just completely floored. I absolutely love this book, and I wanted to share it with you folks. To let you know exactly what book it is. So I'm going to present it here. Can someone put it on? Thank you. And the book is called Where Once We Stood.
Oh, I've heard of this book.
And basically what it is, it's relooking into the Apollo missions in a very interesting way. And what they've done is that, so you have Christopher Riley, which is a very famous space author, and Martin Impey, which is an illustrator, and they both got together and they reviewed all the transcripts of the Apollo missions. And they've basically managed to collate sort of a visual and a written content montage of the Apollo missions. Every single, all 6 missions are listed here. And I wanted to first start off with the art of Martin Impey, which I am absolutely completely floored about. I just love what he does. He has a very distinctive style, and it might not.
Wow.
Might not everyone might like it, but I think it's just great, and I think it completely, it really elevates the book to another level, because these are really pieces of artwork embedded in the book, and basically the book sort of looks like this. So there are pages where you have texts and you have the artwork, and basically what they've done, and I thought was really smart, is that they've actually taken the transcripts of the mission, but not the entire transcript. They've just taken various parts of the transcript that they thought were the most interesting, and they've just added context to these transcripts, either before or after, in order for us to understand what they were talking about, what they were doing.
Wow.
And it's just wonderful. And I think I'm going to stop presenting, and I'm actually going to try, because I have the book here in front of me, and I'd like to show it to you, because I didn't.
So you bought this for your daughter?
I did indeed.
Yeah. Likely story.
Andy, can you stop the presentation?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
I've done it now.
I like it.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm going to try and remove my virtual background. And basically, here's the book. And I just wanted to show it.
Right, you've got your camera reversed.
Oh, do I?
Mm.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Basically, you have every chapter, and every chapter you see it actually shows what the what each mission has done on the map.
You see that?
They have.
You'll have to turn
they
your virtual background off, Daz.
Yeah, it's fine. They have amazing maps. It's an amazing book.
Wow.
I highly recommend it if you like.
And how much is it?
I have no idea. I think I bought. Oh, it's 20 pounds.
That's not bad, is it?
No, and it price probably has dropped. Daz, you bought it recently.
Yeah,
how
just
much was
I
it?
bought it off of Amazon. So
How much?
as I say, this is mirrored, so you got the footprint.
There we go.
You've done it now. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've done it. So anyway, look. Daz, you can carry on showing if you want. It's
How much did you get it for on Amazon, Daz?
I can't remember offhand. It was about 17, 18 pound, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's 128 pages. They're all just amazing, and it really draws you in each Apollo mission and what they were doing, and the human element of the mission is just captured there.
Yeah,
I just really like
the illustrations are fantastic. They're beautiful.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it for anyone who has an interest in the human exploration and the Apollo missions. And it's a nice taster for what's coming next, right? With the new missions to go back to the moon. So it really brings the human element to it. So So it's this is called Where Once We Stood by Christopher Riley and Martin Impey. And I just love these type of books where you just stumble on them by surprise and then you just fall in love with them.
Can you just hold it up a little bit more?
Sure.
Sorry, to me it looked like he's going fishing on the moon.
Yeah.
Ice fishing.
Ice fishing.
No. Actually, if you look closer, he's actually it's like I don't know what he's doing, but he's obviously doing some instrument, setting up an instrument.
He's hit in the best traditions of American engineering. He's hitting something with a hammer.
If in doubt, give it a clout.
You know what? It's a shame that Lou is not here, so that he could at least defend himself.
If it doesn't work, hit it with a bloody great hammer.
Very good.
Yeah. Excellent. Is that the feather in the hammer? Says he. Yeah, it could be Ian. Yeah.
So there you go. I just wanted to share it with you guys. If you love those things, go and grab it. You won't regret it.
Yeah. And there's a fantastic book that I've got. I'll show it to you viewers next week because I can't be bothered to get up and go to the bookcase now. It's called Full Moon, and it's the photographs from Apollo, and it's stunning.
It is an excellent book, that is. I've got that one.
Yeah, have you? It's wonderful. It's large format photographs, and it's just absolutely stunning.
And the quality of photographs is just amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Hasselblad had it made, really, didn't they? The quality of those images is just unbelievable. You tried.
So they're about as good as mine, then.
Roger, do you know the phrase "no comment"?
Yeah, but they were there. They were there.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that the folks who took pictures on the moon were nowhere near photographers or artists.
No,
they were
they didn't.
Hardcore engineers, hardcore, flights.
They couldn't even hold the camera to frame the image.
Yeah, they had no viewfinders, did they?
No viewfinder.
No viewfinder. God,
No.
They got trained before going to the Apollo missions, and it's just amazing what they've done. So all good stuff.
Yeah, and to think there are still idiots that think it never happened, but there you are.
Yeah.
What can you do, eh?
I'm coming round to the idea, Andy.
You better not be, otherwise you'll be straight off this channel, mate.
Well, the Earth's flat. The Earth's flat anyway, so.
Gerard says the book is £18.79 from Amazon.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gerard. Thank you for finding that out. So, fantastic. Right, what have we got now then?
Well, it's just me. If we've got time, I've got a nice
sure.
session. This is going to be a two-parter. And basically, it's about the character event. It's all like a sun. We've got a bit of a sun theme running this week. So I'll just pop up the. Here we go. Now, before I start, if anybody's actually interested in the sun, if they're Aurora watchers, or you're just interested in, or you're an amateur radio, or a radio ham, then you need to know about space weather. And what I would like to do is recommend Dr. Tamitha Scoff on YouTube. Now, if you go on the site and just look for the space weather girl, Tamitha Scoff, and she's an expert in space weather. She's actually qualified solar physicist. Oh, it disappeared.
Yeah, it's not running, Daz. I've taken it off because it's not running.
It's not supposed to be running.
No, but I can't see anything. There's no screen there.
Isn't there?
No. There's just a whirly thing going around as if it's waiting.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I can see it. I can see.
Can you?
Well, I can see a text, right?
Oh.
Dr. Tamitha Skov, Space Weather Woman.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's strange.
I can't see anything. I can just see the whirligig going around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then right, I'll stop it then, and then we'll. I don't know why that's happening because it's not even.
Roger, what can you see?
Yes, you can see everyone now because I've turned it off.
Yeah.
Oh, it was working for me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay then. Let me just try it one more time.
Try it again. Try it again.
Like that.
So
Yeah, I got that as well, Michael.
Yeah.
right, let's have a look.
Apologies, viewers. We appear to be having a few.
Same again.
Same again.
No, it's fine here.
Okay. Well, listen.
Okay, we'll leave that then.
Well, no, just a moment. It doesn't matter if we can't see it; it's whether the viewers can see it. Viewers, can you somebody put in the comments whether they can see the
I'm
presentation,
just trying to have a look
or whether
myself.
they're getting a whirly thing going around saying "I can't be asked." Right? Yeah. Ian says I just see the SO background. Yeah. So it's not working for the viewers.
Right. Okay. Then. Right. We'll forget that then. I don't know why that is.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Derek. Yeah. That's we'll have to look into that, Daz, and perhaps.
Yeah. No problem, mate. Yep. No problem. It's probably for the best anyway.
Yeah. That's really weird. It's really weird that you could see it, or some of you could see it, and the viewers and nor Michael nor myself could. But this is all cutting technology here, which is what we bring you at Space Oddities. So sometimes
flaws and all.
Most of the time it works. Occasionally we have a little hiccup when we've been drinking. So so there we are. Yes, about the moon. Ian says the famous Buzz picture is mind blowing, and it really is. And you know the one person that you don't see, of course, except one image, is Neil Armstrong himself, because
That's right. Yes, there's just that one image of him
as
by the foot of the lemon
in the visor.
Yeah.
Two images where you see him.
Two images, is it?
Is it the one where he's at the foot of the lem? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, it's one image and a photocopy. So. Yeah, but yes, he hardly appears at all because, of course, he took most of the photos.
Yeah.
So he didn't do any selfies. So,
well, he did one with the Buzz shot.
Oh
right,
yeah, but
that's right.
Yeah. No, that famous image of Buzz.
Selfies weren't invented then, anyway.
Thank goodness. Oh goodness!
Imagine, like
with a selfie stick.
With a selfie stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Buzz photobomb him in.
Yeah. So, they're just getting ridiculous. I was walking along the pavement in Girona today, and the girl in front of me just stopped in the middle of the pavement to take a photograph of herself. You know, and I just walked straight into her. You know.
Oh, okay.
They should be made to wear indicators and things if they're going to do things.
We call them phone zombies here.
Yeah, I'm
phone
sure.
Zombies, and they're fair game when you're driving, and they just walk out in the road. And have a stamp on the side. There we go.
Yeah. Another 5 points as a bonus for a selfie stick as well.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to this old generation moaning about this.
Oh, when we wanted to make a phone call, we had to dial.
I know.
When I were
you had
allowed.
to dial.
Yeah.
When I were allowed.
There we go.
And if we wanted a selfie, we had to look look in
Or-
the mirror and get the crayons out. Ooh.
When I were a lad, I had to walk to school.
Yeah, luxury. We used to dream of going to school.
Anyway.
Our dad would have us up at 5 a.m, licking road clean. Yeah, there we are then.
Yeah.
Right, I guess that's it. Oh, yes,
Oh,
all
come on.
Space Oddities, or else. That's an order. So,
Yeah.
so
please
Don't
there we
forget
are.
to like. Don't forget
Yeah,
to like
please like
everybody.
Yeah,
and
please like and
Yep.
subscribe. That's so important to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Don't forget
would
to-
anybody like to buy us a coffee who hasn't already done so this evening? And don't forget, of course, the winter weather's drawing in, and everybody needs a hoodie in the winter weather. So make sure
yes.
to get your Space Oddity hoodie. Full description in the full details in the description of the video. There we are. There's a hoodie, a mere £35, including UK postage and packing. Please add £10 of foreign orders, and of course the T-shirts are still on sale as well at a snip of £19.
Yeah.
And as sported by the gorgeous pouting Roger tonight, and flying the flag, whatever.
Yeah.
So we had a roving report from Lou, and or was it a raving report? I don't know, but a roving report from Lou. Talking of roving reports, viewers, I will be. I'm speaking at the Mayo Dark Sky Festival in Mayo, in west of Ireland. The first weekend of November, I'll be over there speaking. So I will be delivering a full report from the Mayo Dark Sky Festival. And Mayo is one of the protected dark sky areas in the UK, one of just a few. And I'm really looking forward to getting over there and speaking and seeing what's going on. So you'll have a report from me in November about that. And there we are. And is it time to say goodnight, guys? Anybody got
Good night,
that?
guys.
Everyone's.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Yeah. So thank you, viewers, for being with us. I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier. Actually, I've had this work laid on me extra on Tuesday evening, so it's going to be like this until December. Should get better in the new year. It's going to stop after Christmas, so I will be with you normal time. But
So
I'm
I
sure.
will have the power.
Yeah. I'm sure the guys will hold the fort perfectly well in my absence. They might even do better. We might even get 1,000 subscriptions as a result of this show.
Hey.
Who knows? But there we are. But thank you for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe, and thank you very much as ever for your support, and thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. Next week. I don't know what's happening, so we will deal with that in the fullness of time. But Michael, you've got an interesting guest coming up for us, I believe.
Hopefully, yes, my friend Ben Evans, author, spaceflight author, is going to visit us. I haven't got a date yet for that, but I'll try and get that for you shortly.
Right,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And can you give us an example of some of the books he's written, in case anybody knows him? Okay, we'll come back to you on
that. There's quite a few books about Voyager.
Right.
Quite a few books about the early astronaut program. Basically, he's an all-round spaceflight author.
Right.
Covers all the bases, basically.
Right. So we should. We will look forward to meeting him and
So
chatting.
if you look up Ben Evans on Springer on Amazon or wherever, you'll get a list of the books. Yeah.
Oh, he's with Springer, is he?
Yeah.
Ah, Bernard.
Yeah.
Your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but it's great to have another writer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, only the best people are on Springer, of course. Only the best writers.
Of course.
Goes without saying. Yeah,
that's right.
So there we are. So thank you from everybody at Space Oddities, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, have a fantastic week. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for being here. So from all of us,
Thank you, everyone.
it's
Yeah,
goodbye, and keep looking
Keep looking up.
Yeah.